to our first show of the year. In fact, it is not the first show of the year. It's our second show of the year, but it's our first guest in the studio, so I'll stick with that. It's our first guest of the year, and we have the inspiring Lewis Bailey. So say hi to our listeners.
Hello there. Hello, everybody. How are we all?
I'm sure everyone's good. So I have wanted to get you in the studio for a little bit to chat about your story and what you're
Cool.
doing. We follow you closely on social media. It's super inspiring of what you do for a number of reasons. You inspire a lot of people across the city, whether it's business or whether it's fitness or it's mindset. So I thought you would be the perfect guy to be our first guest of 2018. So for our listeners, tell them a little bit about what you do.
Okay, first of all, thanks very much, buddy. Yeah, appreciate that. And okay, so essentially what I do is personal training, and I help people go from where they are to, in essence, basically transforming their lives, their body and their lives, and getting into the best shape that they can be. So that's kind of in a nutshell where I start off. I've been a trainer now for 17 years, showing the age, and it's just been an awesome journey. It's been a difficult journey as well, just obviously going from the transition of just being a PT to then setting up your own business within personal training is very, very tricky, but yeah, it's been a great journey, and I just wouldn't change it for the world. And from the point of view of what it gives me from helping people and transforming people is truly fulfilling, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, that's the reason why I've done it, and I'll keep on doing it for years onwards. So
Amazing. So we were chatting before, and we were talking about like the resilience and what it takes to set up a business. And
Sure.
what advice would you give to any of our listeners who would first of all want to set up a business?
I think firstly, I think you do have to be prepared for a tough journey, and it just completely goes without saying that you're gonna hit so many challenges right the way throughout. And despite maybe your kind of academic background, if you have got some serious advantages there in terms of qualifications, you're still gonna come across so many different situations whereby you're not gonna know what to do, and it actually comes down to you going through the actual whole process is when you actually physically learn. It's like the whole driving kind of testing. So you could score top marks, okay, on the actual, the theory side to it in the test, and you think, okay, great. But when it comes behind to getting behind the wheel of the car and going off, it's just a different ball game completely. So there's I would say to people, firstly, definitely get ready for a tough journey, but the biggest thing 100% is to do what you love, and just do the thing that really inspires you in life, that will then help you inspire other people as well. And if you're not doing a thing that you're highly passionate about, then you are going to struggle, because when you hit those tough times, it becomes very, very difficult, and you'll either just pack it in or you'll keep going. And you'll keep going if you're passionate about what you do. It's as simple as that, because it is going to get tough.
Yes, some of the things that you spoke about then are super important to us, and especially the people that we work with. If you talk about a passion, that is your fuel and something to keep you going. And also when you mentioned qualifications, I feel you can have as many of them qualifications as you've said on a piece of paper, but actually getting up and doing the work, that's where the passion kicks in. And I feel no amount of qualification would give you that drive.
Yeah, 100%. I've seen a lot of very, very, very bright people that have got a lot of academia behind them, and not amount to anything in my world, in my industry. And I've seen people that don't have a great deal, but they've got the right attitude. They're committed. They love what they do, and they just absolutely annihilate it. And it's great to see, and I actually love seeing that. The kind of the underdogs, so to speak, come through. But at the end of the day, it has to be a burning passion that you want to chase. And if you do that, then you will be successful. But you've just got to keep working hard and keep working at it, and you will get there 100%.
Love that. So we've asked you to pick a couple of songs to come in today and play, and I want to know what your first track is and why.
The first track is it's by New Atlantic, I know, and it's just for me, it's just an old school classic, back to the 90s, brings a lot of memories back for me. But I absolutely love the track, and it's one of those tracks for me that it sparks me up and gets me going no matter what. So before I go training, which is quite a lot, as you probably know. But before I always go, I need to get myself going. Sometimes I'm tired, or quite often I'm tired, and that track just does something, and it just really kind of sparks off the fire, and then that just allows me then to start pushing on into my workout and get going. So yeah, this is the track that really does that for me.
Okay.
So
introduce it to our listeners.
Okay, so this track now is by New Atlantic. It's called I Know. So wherever you are, just listen to this, turn it up, and enjoy.
Lewis, why did you pick this industry?
I've got to be absolutely honest. I was in the army before I started personal training, and before that I had 0 qualifications. Didn't do too well in school at all. That's something that I would say it was. I look back now and I do regret kind of if not doing as well as what I possibly could. But at the same time, I've still managed to get through to this day and get to where I am now. So, but the thing is that when I come out of the army, I didn't have anything behind me in terms of qualifications, and I was just a reconnaissance soldier. And yeah, it was a case of looking at things and saying, right, well, what can I do? What am I good at doing? Which, from an academic point of view, wasn't a great deal. I certainly was no form of engineer or tradesman. I just had none of those skills. So yeah, it was personal training. A friend of mine said to me, he said, listen, you should get into this. And back then, which was 2002. Personal training was very rarely heard of in Liverpool, but down in London it was just started kind of getting recognised, but it was more like a big celebrity thing. But I just thought, what, yeah, I like the look of it. I like the look of it, and I just thought, let's have a go. And I enjoy fitness and love fitness and being fit within the army, obviously. So yeah, I went for it, and the army paid for that course for me. So I went out and done the course, and because I've been training for years as well, I thought I knew it all, and got out there and realised that it didn't. Yeah, it was a tough journey to start with, but you know what? As I was moving forward, I was learning more, I was growing more, I was developing more, and because I was passionate in what I was doing, I decided that I wanted to do more courses. I wanted to learn more. Because the more I could learn, the more I could apply, and the more I could help people. And I think when I'd done the first course, after that, when I could see the impact that I could have on somebody, because I think my first course was with Paul Check, and it was more kind of therapy and rehab based. And I remember applying these new skills to people when I come back, and it was phenomenal, the changes that I was getting. So that become really addictive, really kind of helping people, and I could now help a lot more people than I could do beforehand. So from that point, I just went on an educational journey then, just learning all about the body in different areas. So from the anatomy side and the physiology side, and then obviously going into the nutritional side as well. But of late, well, I say late, but the last kind of couple of years, it's been more focused as well on the mind and the mind-body connection, So it's absolutely huge. And for me, when I kind of step back and look at it, it's a case of saying, wait, okay, well, it's okay knowing the components of fitness and exercise. It's okay knowing the components of dieting and nutrition. But the thing is the body is a system of systems, and there's so many things going on. So it's about looking at things like sleep patterns and how that works, because sleep has a big effect on the hormonal system, and then people's metabolism and the way that people look and the way people feel. So from there, for me, it was a case of saying, right, well, we need to know more. We need to learn more. I need to develop my skills. I need to understand why people are struggling with exercise, and why people can't get into exercise, or why people are struggling with the diets, and why people can't kind of break through. Because it's all good and well for the people that can do it, but why can't those people that are struggling, why can't they get there? And that was then the next kind of phase of the journey, was then going through that process of helping those people that can't normally do it, that really kind of struggle with motivation, they hate the thought of exercise and diet and all that side. So I think we as an industry, as personal trainers and fitness experts, we've got to look at those people and say, like, we need to understand that these people aren't interested in it. they know that they need to do it, and they know that they need kind of some support. They're not going to walk into a gym where they feel intimidated, where everyone seems to know what they're doing, and then just going to stand there thinking, well, what do I do? So what we have to do is we have to understand these people, and we have to come down to their level, and we have to go on to their level of where they are and say, right, okay, I understand where you are. So let's just take this first little step forward, okay, for you, and then take the next step. As opposed to trying to absolutely annihilate somebody in the gym or the studio, when they first rock up on day one. So it's not about that at all. So we've got to, as an industry, we've got to look deeper into the understanding of people and where people are, and the reason why people struggle with this whole thing. Because obviously, if you look at it from an obesity point of view, it's been predicted by 2030 that 75% of the UK population will be overweight or obese. So those stats are pretty big, and it's given us a bit of an indication here that things aren't working. If we get into that stage, what's going on? And we need interventions needed. And obviously, you look at it from an NHS point of view, that's on its way out, really. So we've got to start doing things. I think we as personal trainers and fitness experts we're well placed to help people. So we need to get in there, and we need to start really helping as many people as we possibly can.
Amazing. Well, it's all about the helping here. And we got some help from music. And I know you've got another track for us today. So what is it?
Okay, so this one is again. This is an all-time classic. I think everybody loves this. I don't know anybody that hates this track. I'm sure there's people out there, but this is Massive Attack. It's Unfinished Sympathy, and for me, it's just an all-time favorite. It's great for me to relax into. I love connecting with music, and this one really connects with me. So yeah, wherever you are, just listening to this one now. It's Massive Attack, Unfinished Symphony.
You have been listening in to Lewis Bailey with his amazing story of what he's done. And I think it's remarkable to say, you've built up a career. You said you were in the army. You've made a life-changing decision, and you've built a business up from the ground to what it is today. Some of the things we spoke about is mindset with people, and resilience when you're putting a business together. And we spoke about living in a busy world.
Yeah.
What do you do to try and deal with that, from where distractions are to keeping focused? How does this work?
Okay, so to start off, a few years ago, it was always so hard to keep on track with everything that needs to be done, because you've got so many responsibilities when you're running your own business, and so if you're employing people as well, you've got to look at all of that aspect to it as well. So it's not just if things go wrong that you're out of pocket. You're out of pocket, but also there's a number of people as well that haven't got a job anymore if it goes wrong. So there's a big responsibility with it, and it does become really stressful. And with kind of adding all of that together, with those responsibilities of making sure that the business really runs and operates, there's obviously the side then of all of the day-to-day, so all of the emails and everything that you've got to keep up with, and there's so many things to deal with. You can just become buried in a world of being reactive to so much stuff that's going on, and especially when you look at the way things are now with social media, with email and all of the other distractions that are all around us, it's just not surprising people just don't get things done, and I was one of them, and it was getting to a stage where I had to get up at 4:30 in the morning just to get things done, and I still get up actually around 4:30, 4:45 now, but for all sorts of different reasons and things that I do now day to day. But the absolute essence of it really is to try and help yourself by relaxing as much as you possibly can and getting some rest points, but also definitely 100% is my big thing is meditation at the minute, because it just helps settle the mind, helps you cut through the noise, and helps you get focused on what you need to do, on the important stuff.
Yeah, I think everything for what we spoke about today and finishing up with is about mindset. So we know it's January, we've had Christmas, and we spoke about, fitness being a lifestyle, but you'll see in every gym right now and on social media, and people are prepping the food. I know our gym's bursting at the seams, and the classes are everyone's on this get fit thing, which is great. But then you see, at the end of January, February, bang, it plummets, and everyone's fell off the wagon. And it is for me, and as you said yourself, it has to be a lifestyle. So for anyone who is all guns blazing at the minute, so you've got your energy up, and everyone wants to get in shape after definitely Christmas, and then you kind of fall back. What advice would you give to people, to stick at it?
Right. Okay. As exactly what you've just said there and pointed out, it is about lifestyle, and there's so many people think that it's all about a diet and some form of crazy diet, or even actually a really good diet, but still, the focus is on diet, or the focus is on exercise and some kind of crazy exercise regime or whatever it is. And the bottom line here is that if you start out doing things that you can't do for the rest of your life, then you will finish at some point and you will stop. So if you're setting up to do something that you don't realize, or if you realize that you can't do this thing every single day of your life, then there's no point in doing it in the first place, because you're going to stop and then you're going to fall back to where you were in the first place. So the first thing to do really is to focus more on a life change and a lifestyle change. And you think big, you think really, really big. Give yourself a real kind of big motivational goal that you really want to achieve. And that's the long-term vision. And that will always kind of keep you going, and then set that down with then small little simple goals. So let's just use the kind of weight loss kind of example. It might be that you want to lose, I don't know, say 2 stone, for example, and that's a lot of weight for people to try and achieve. And most people will set that and go, you know what, I want to lose 2 stone in 3 months, and it's like it's too much of a big goal in a short space of time, and you're gonna have to break your neck to try and to be able to do it, and then you're going to be incredibly disappointed, frustrated when you don't do it. And then after a couple of months, you're then going to stop. So it's always saying to yourself, instead of thinking about that in terms of, I'm going to achieve this in 3 months, think about it maybe over, say, 12 months that you may be able to achieve that. And maybe let's say the first goal is for the end of January, I want to lose 3 pounds, and let's make it more tangible and realistic. And then that will help you then with the things that you need to do. So exercising a little bit more, for example, is that you're not going to have to go to the gym 7 days a week. You're not going to have to do the ridiculous diet. Those small tweaks and small changes will help you then over a period of time get great results, because you keep on going it and you keep on being consistent with what you're doing. Then you can do it. If it's something that's not too hard, that's not punishing, and you can do it every day, then you're going to get great results. And that's what we do with our clients, is to say, look, let's make this journey easy and make it as easy as we possibly can, so you can keep on doing these things every single day. So you can go for the 30-minute walk every day, so you can, if instead of having, such a harsh kind of diet, let's cut out the chocolate bar that you're having every day. Let's just get rid of that and just replace it with something else which is a lot less harmful, So, if you add those two things together, where you cut the chocolate bar out, which is an average of, say, 250 to 300 calories, and then you was to take then the half an hour walk that someone was to do, would be approximately around about 170 calories. So now you're coming in around about 450, 500 kind of calories there a day that you're now getting rid of by doing those two small things that pretty much everybody can do, so that would be a great start point. And if you keep doing that, where you're expending an additional 500 calories a day, then you're going to have a great outcome by the end of the month. And by the end of the year, it's significant. 365 times 500, I don't know what that is. Well, I'm not sharp at maths, but it's a hell of a lot in terms of a calorific expenditure. So it's small things, and if you think about it over a long period of time, that compounding effect gives you dramatic results. Stop with the short term, forget all of that stuff, forget the punishing regimes, and just get focused on a lifestyle change, things that you can do every day, and you'll enjoy doing those things every day. Will give you the big outcome.
Okay, so it gets to February, and people are thinking of dropping off. What would you say, to keep them engaged?
Okay, so if you're hitting February, which is, you're talking about 29, 30 days, and you're thinking to yourself, I can't do it, then take your foot off the gas, but don't stop. Okay, yeah. So let's just say you've been doing 5 exercise sessions in a week, and you've been hitting it hard with the diet. Then when you stop and you just completely forget about it, then you're going to gain any weight that you've lost anyway immediately. And what you need to do is to say, okay, well, let's just kind of bring things down a little bit. Okay, let's stop the kind of harshness of the routine, and say, right, well, what can we do now instead, which is going to be more enjoyable for me? What can I do now which is going to maybe save time? It could be a time thing that they're struggling with. So first of all, look at the reasons why you want to stop. Is it because you hate what you're doing? Is it because you don't have enough time? Is it because the journey is just too difficult? Okay, yeah, and look at those things and think, like, okay, well, that's what the problem is. Let's do things now that aren't going to take up as much time. Let's start doing things that I do actually start enjoying, and start working on the actual problem that you've got, and then just keep them moving forward. So whatever it is the problem. When you get to that point where you want to stop, look to see what the issue is. What is it that's stopping you? Is it time? Is it too difficult? Is it that you're not enjoying it? And then change it. Just change that, make that change, but still kind of keep moving forward and doing it. And that's essentially how you'll help yourself get there.
So just before we finish off, you mentioned before about thinking big and you set the goals. What can we expect for 2018 from you?
There's a lot of things going on.
Okay.
There's TV stuff coming up this year. I've been invited onto a panel for a fitness chat show. So that's coming up this year. I can't say who it is yet. I'm still under an NDA for that. But we do all the filming in Feb and March. And that's going out then to later on this year. Really exciting stuff. So that's all happening this year. I'm in the process of writing a book, the Fit Body Code book.
Oh, cool.
So that's all happening. And also as well putting the piece together for a documentary. So it's about kind of looking at the whole aspect of the UK population and the way things are going. Looking at the health side of things, as I mentioned before about the obesity epidemic, and also looking at the mental health epidemic as well, and the issues that we've got there. So we have got so many problems in this country, and it's for me it's incredibly frustrating where we've got all these issues and we're such a wealthy country, and a lot of them shouldn't be happening. So it's about kind of really looking at the issues that we've got, facing these issues, and then looking at some form of intervention and how can we make this change, because we can't rely on the NHS anymore. It's not going to be the big thing which is going to support us all, because it just can't. It can't cope with it, and we have to think of another plan. There has to be some form of intervention. And we have to create something that people can start getting into and start making changes themselves. So yeah, it's a massive year. Loads of things going on, and aside of that, as well as running the business and all the other things that kind of come with it, and being a dad and all the rest. So yeah, it's a busy time, but it's an awesome time because I'm loving everything that I'm doing.
Well, it's been amazing to have you in. Hugely inspiring. As I say, we follow you on social media and we see you here and there, but it's been great to actually sit down and chat to you, find out what drives you, what you do. I hope our listeners feel exactly the same. So we are going to wrap up with your third and final song. So let our listeners know what it is and why.
Okay, so this next track, I'm a big fan of Paul Woolford. I'm a massive fan. I mean, to be honest, all of his kind of tracks really kind of get to me. And the big thing for me with this one, it's Call Out Your Name, and I just love the track. I mean, that's it. That's all it is to me. It's I love his music, but this one's the one that really gets to me. The video is a bit funky. I don't know what's going on with the video. I don't know whether you've seen it, but yeah, if you watch the video, I don't know what's going on with the cats and people training and all the rest of it. It's a bit weird, but forget the video anyway. But just listen to the track because it's an awesome one. So this is Paul Woolford. Call Out Your Name.